I think over time it's garnered a bit more of an appeal. Maybe it was a flop at the time.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think that it's been embraced by the MOTU fans.
Okay. So, do you want to explain what we're doing today?
Well, today I thought with the upcoming release of the new Masters of the Universe film, we look at the 2 previous feature-length films.
For the honor of love, by the power above.
The power to be masters of the universe.
So I wasn't aware of this film until, well, you kind of suggested it as if I would have known what it was, The Secret of the Sword. Never heard of it. And you're a big He-Man fan, these are your doodahs and stuff.
Thank you.
I'm not, so I don't know much about it or the lore and stuff like that. So we'll go into it like that and sort of see where we come from.
For the honor of Grayskull!
So is this the first time this has all been introduced, I take it?
Yeah, so this is to introduce She-Ra,
Yeah.
his twin sister who was abducted when she was a baby.
Yep,
So
and they were separated at birth,
Yeah.
like some other franchise that could we might have borrowed from in that regard.
Quite possibly, yes.
Leia's my sister.
Your insight serves you well.
Yeah, so I guess it's like She-Ra was basically just a sort of, from my understanding, a bit of a carbon copy of He-Man for the sort of female, young girl audience sort of thing.
So it worked for the boys, and
Yeah,
so let's see if we can do it for the girls.
sure.
I mean, usually these episodes were self-contained. Heroes beat villains,
Yeah.
repeat.
Sure.
But this was a bit different. It introduced a lot of lore and backstory and quite interesting themes, I thought.
Okay.
Obviously, Eternia, we have He-Man versus Skeletor. Skeletor's always foiled at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a stalemate there. Skeletor never gets his act together.
Perhaps you're right.
Meanwhile, in Etheria, the evil Horde kind of rules the planet. So it's like
Right,
an
okay.
evil dictatorship.
So that's not from He-Man, that's from She-Ra, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got the Great Rebellion fighting back against evil. That kind of appeals to me. I like revolutions and things like that. So
It's got that kind of feel about it, the sort of workers
Yeah.
sort of unite sort of thing, isn't it? It's not particularly deep or anything. It's a Saturday morning cartoon show, obviously, but you kind of feel like that's maybe where it's kind of parsing it from a little bit.
yeah.
On your feet, now!
Water. Water. Please. I must have water.
We see like the treatment of slaves and things like that, and
Yeah, sure. Okay.
it's-
Yeah.
a few heavy themes, but kind of done for kids.
I'll give you water!
It's all very light in its feet, and I mean, one of the things I suppose it was kind of, they'll set up sort of a moment of peril or dread or something like that, and then they'll immediately sort of resolve it, because
Yeah.
obviously you don't want 5-year-olds getting too upset about these things.
Oh, Swift when he's dying, I can feel the pain. If only there was something I could do.
She-Ra, your hands. Look, they're glowing.
Can it be? For the honor of Grayskull.
I don't know if I've got much to sort of say. Watching it for the first time as a nearly 50-year-old and wasn't into He-Man or
Yeah.
She-Ra at the time, it's limited kind of appeal. I think it kind of felt like the story just kept kind of going and going because it was compartmentalized for, it felt like individual episodes, and it felt like multiple times, oh, that's it, that feels like the ending of it, and then it's like there's another sort of
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
addendum put onto it. So whereas I think we did actually, I forgot, but we did as well talk about the He-Man and She-Ra Christmas special. Okay, so we wanted to do a Christmas special, and you suggested the He-Man and She-Ra Christmas special.
Yeah.
And that felt more of a kind of contained story, you know, with a
sure.
beginning, middle, and end. Whereas this one just seems to be kind of, and then this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens.
Yeah.
Which going to keep like 6-year-olds kind of entertained because it's never kind of lingering too long on something, and there's always lots of action.
Yeah.
But for me, I was kind of checking out after the first sort of 40 minutes or so.
Yeah, for sure. It doesn't quite work as a feature film.
No.
But
Sorry to disappoint you, but
yeah, so I'm quite curious about the new film coming out. Judging from the trailers, it looks like Eternia is in ruins, which feels more like She-Ra's world. It's kind of been in the cartoon that we Secret of the Sword. It's been overrun by the evil Horde, whereas Eternia seems all right. So I don't know if they're taking that.
Crossing that over a little bit.
Over.
I'd imagine that they're kind of hoping for this to be a success and then kind of expand it from there, whether we have a She-Ra cameo in this one or I don't know if there's any rumours about that.
I have heard that Dolph Lundgren's in it.
Oh, wow.
I'm quite excited about.
Yeah.
I'm quite interested to see who he plays.
Well, on that note, I guess we'll be going to who he plays in the 1987 feature film Masters of the Universe.
The power to be masters of the universe.
Yes, so this was an interesting film of its time. There hadn't been many comic book adaptations at this time, or
I mean, Superman, not much more than that. Really, that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah. I think he felt a bit silly in the costume at the time.
Dolph Lundgren did. Okay, fair enough.
He-Man, I show 0.84 chromons to Moonrise at Grayskull. We better find the key and we better find it fast.
I think over time it's garnered a bit more of an appeal. Maybe it was a flop at the time.
Yeah.
But, I think that it's been embraced by the MOTU fans.
Okay. I'll leave. I'm not going to even comment on that one.
Why would a man whose shirt says genius at work spend all of his time watching a children's cartoon show?
Because He-Man was so big as a cartoon. I'm kind of like surprised that it flopped.
Yeah, I think it came out kind of when the toy line was kind of disappearing, becoming less popular.
Yeah, I guess
the cartoon had ended. Well, He-Man had ended.
Yeah, okay.
And also, the setting was a bit more adult than the cartoon.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's not a good adaptation of...
No. Whereas, the cartoon, He-Man fought Skeletor and would always win. But in this film, Skeletor's got his act together.
Sure.
And he's taken over Castle Grayskull. He's got the sorceress.
You've not won yet, Skeletor. He-Man is still alive. I can feel it.
Really? How sensitive you are. Can you feel this?
Yeah, that's a bit that I kind of feel like we needed to see that sort of story, that sort of lead up. Like, we come to like the end of a sort of a massive battle on Eternia and stuff like that, and we're just seeing the sorceress captured, like you're saying, and it's kind of, the heroes are on the ropes, and it's like, oh, could we not have seen that?
Yeah, well, it's the budget didn't allow for that.
Sure.
Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of here!
It's quite a dark position to go straight in at, I thought, and I quite like that. Looking back now,
Okay.
But as a fan in the 80s, I was like, what on earth is this film?
Yeah, it does that thing of like, like you're saying, a budgetary restrictions. So, let's set it on Earth,
Yeah.
From the first film is a bit. I think you can maybe do that. You think about Star Trek or Planet of the Apes. Those films.
Yeah.
In the third or fourth film, they kind of do that sort of, time travel back to modern day Earth.
Just where is our future? The things we've done instead. Let's just push the button. We'd be better off dead. 'Cause I hate you.
To do that in the first film right off the bat is in the middle of this kind of more interesting story.
Yeah, because there's some really nice shots of Eternia, like matte paintings and things like that.
Yeah, that's a film I want to see, That's a film I want to see, that kind of like aesthetic and stuff like that, that would be cool.
Yeah, there's some enjoyment to be had. Mostly Skeletor, played by Frank Langella.
Yes, not quite enough of him, but, maybe less is more with Skeletor,
Yeah.
People of Eternia, the war is over.
I thought his costume looked great.
Yeah, that looked good, yeah.
And Evelyn as well, costume looked great.
Well cast, yeah.
So they were great. he got the best dialogue for sure, Skeletor.
Yeah, Dolph Lundgren's kind of struggling with stuff. I guess this was an early role for him, wasn't it?
First lead role. Straight after Rocky IV.
Ah, of course, yeah.
So it's
I don't think he's quite ready to take a franchise like that on his shoulders. Capable as his shoulders, maybe.
Yeah,
but
he looked the part.
He looked the part, yeah. But
tricky role to cast.
Sure, it's thrown into the deep end with that one.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right. Don't be afraid. I won't hurt you.
There's a lot of great things in it. I mean, I thought the director did pretty well with what he had, and the music, score.
Score's good, yeah. It feels
heavily influenced by Superman.
Superman, yeah. Which is fine.
Yeah. There's some moments that shine, especially bits in Castle Grayskull I thought were good.
Yeah, the bits towards the end and stuff are the better stuff and everything, I would say. It's a bit flaky and it's a bit inconsistent, I think, with that kind of stuff. And I guess that's, as you're sort of saying, kind of budgetary things. And I think Canon kind of folded not long after that, did it?
Yeah. I think they were shooting Superman 4 at the same time.
Oh, Jesus.
They were like stealing budget from this film for Superman and stuff like that.
Oh,
I think.
I mean, the ending, it just kind of wraps it up a little bit like, I don't know, how did they know to put her back there? Because what's the Gwildor, is it?
Yeah.
He doesn't know about this situation as far as we know, so...
No, she kind of tries to shout back at him, but
yeah,
I'm not quite sure if he hears.
Yeah. And then they just kind of wrap up and go, oh, your parents are alive and we'll send you back to there. And it's like, I didn't feel earned, you know.
Yeah.
It's a pity. But because that would have been a nice kind of ending if it kind of, you know, threaded that through the film. But, hey-oh.
No, Dad!
You're bright and early.
You're all right.
Hey, what's this all about?
I love you both so much. I never want to lose you.
So are we wanting to rate those?
I mean, I don't know if I want to rate the, what's it called? The Secret of the Sword. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I want to rate that because it feels you know, it's a Saturday morning cartoon show from 40 years ago. It is what it is in that regard. It's not going to convert you if you're not a He-Man fan beforehand. If you want to rate it, I'll kind of go along with you.
No, it introduces a lot of lore, and I'm quite curious to see how much of that's going to make it into
the new film,
if any.
Well, we'll hope for I'm hoping for a better. I mean, it doesn't bother me one way or another at the end of the day, but I'm hoping for a better adaptation and a better film with a new one. But I'll go in with my hopes set in the middling.
Yeah, I'm quietly excited.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll come back and are we giving ratings to?
We rated it before.
Yeah, I'll give it an extra half. I think I gave it 2 before.
Did you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. How many logs would you give this one?
Oh, jeez, I don't know. I think I would give it 2. I think I'd give it a 2. I know that sounds. I think that sounds fair. Yeah, I'll give it a 2.5. It's never going to go higher than that.
Yeah.
But
I think I'd give it a 3.
Yeah.
I would give it a 3.
A 3.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. As a fan, I can understand that.
Yeah.
I think
it is a bit of a stretch as well, a 3, but
I think it's a higher end. I think if anyone kind of gave it more than that, I'd have some questions, definitely.
I'll probably stick with that.
Okay, that's about as high as you could go with this, I think.
Yeah.
So we'll come back and we'll do what's it called? Masters of the Universe. It's just called Masters of the Universe. Okay. We'll come and do that next time.
Yeah.
So join us for that. Let us know what you think about Secret of the Sword and Masters of the Universe 1987, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Good journey.
Good journey!